Ever since the re-release of its first and second season on Netflix back in June of last year, Cobra Kai has become one of the most popular karate-driven franchises of the decade, bringing both nostalgia and action to a hungry fan base. With a brilliant ensemble of cast members accompanied by some of the wittiest writing in recent days, it's really no wonder that Season 4 of the franchise is so highly anticipated. But what are the shows similar to Cobra Kai that can keep us entertained while Season 4 gets ready for its launch? And what about these shows make them similar? Well, whether you're a Karate Kid fanatic or just want to know more about the various shows that pull influence from the extended franchise, you come to the right place, as we're about to take a look at some of the series that give off a similar vibe to its own spin-off. So strap yourselves in and get ready to take some notes, as things are about to get interesting. But before we get into it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe with notifications turned on so you don't miss out on any of the new videos that we post. Number 1. Fight Quest. First up on our list is a show by the name of Fight Quest, which is an original series hosted by mixed martial arts fighters Jimmy Smith and Doug Anderson. Launched by the Discovery Channel back in 2007, the show saw these hosts traveling all over the world to discover and interact with some of the greatest martial arts masters. After spending around a week training with the masters that they meet along the way, the hosts then demonstrate what they ended up learning during this training, taking on some of the masters' most revered students. The great thing about Fight Quest is that it gives you insight into the world that Cobra Kai was written to portray. And we must admit, after watching some of the real masters of various fighting styles demonstrate what they know and teach, you really start to understand the intricacies of the fight sequences in shows like Cobra Kai. So if you're a fan of reality television and want to see who the best fighters in the world were back in 2007, Fight Quest is most certainly the series for you. Just keep in mind that only one season of approximately 13 episodes was released back in the day, so don't get your hopes up for an extended watch time. Number 2. Ip Man. Now, we know what you're thinking. Ip Man is an incredible film franchise starring the brilliant Donnie Yen. So what on earth is it doing on a list of television shows similar to Cobra Kai? Well, as it turns out, Ip Man, the film franchise, was actually based on a television series of the same name, featuring the incredible stunt fighting of real-life martial artist Kevin Chang. And while the franchise has some insane fight sequences, it also has an intense focus on the life and struggles of Ip Man. For those of you who don't know, was the actual grand master of the traditional kung fu style known as Wing Chun. Remember Bruce Lee? Believe it or not, but he was actually the most famous student of Ip Man and demonstrated just how successful the grand master was at fostering and teaching talented individuals. Clearly, a romanticized depiction of the life of the legendary teacher, the Ip Man television series is not an experienced fans of Cobra Kai should miss out on. You get the same vibe from the Chinese drama, as once more you're forced into a world of martial arts where a teacher wants nothing more than to take care of the students he's molding into some of the best fighters in the world. Number 3. Warrior. And then we have Warrior, which was released back in April 2019 and introduced viewers to the character of Awesome, who's excellently portrayed by Andrew Koji. Set in the year 1870, the show follows the life and times of Som, who ends up traveling from China to San Francisco in an attempt to find his long-lost sister. But he arrives to discover that things are not going to be as simple as flicking through a phone book. Becoming involved with criminal factions of all kinds pretty early on, we then see Som surrounding himself with big bad athletes of underground fight clubs, which he obviously participates in. It's an honorable trip which portrays Sam doing everything that he must in an attempt to find his sister. It's a definite must for those of you who are fans of the films of Bruce Lee growing up, as the television show was actually initially the brainchild of the late martial arts legend. Warrior really does honor his legacy in the fighting style that Andrew Koji goes on to represent. You get the shrieky and fast kicks that everyone came to love from the icon of martial arts, as well as the drama and drops of humor that fans of Cobra Kai have come to expect. So if you haven't seen the first season of Warrior just yet, there's no time like the present. Number 4. Fight World. Next up on our list is another documentary series that was released back in October 2018, featuring actor Frank Grillo as the host. We're talking about the Netflix documentary by the same name of Fight World, which sees the actor most famous for portraying Crossbones in the MCU touring the globe to understand the intricacies of the various fighting styles that are practiced there. The great thing about the series is that it doesn't just concentrate on the specific fighting styles it's there to cover. Focus is also placed on the culture from which the fighting styles in question developed, giving a greater understanding of how everything came to be. There's a lot of respect given to both the culture and style of numerous martial arts and Fight World, with Grillo interviewing various practitioners of the art forms in an attempt to learn more. You also see Grillo himself get down and dirty, taking on some of the greatest students of the martial arts he's in the process of learning about. Think of this as a documentary similar to Fight Quest, but far more respectful and modern in its tackling of martial arts. The show is also brilliant for demonstrating how styles such as Krav Maga, Muay Thai, and kickboxing extend beyond fighting and influence other forms of life. As Mr. Miyagi would say, karate is not a tool, but a lifestyle. Number 5. Seis Manos. Seis Manos is another show that really captures the overall vibe of Cobra Kai, but might not be everyone's cup of tea considering it takes the form of an animated series. Its first and only series, which was released on Netflix back in 2019, introduced us to a group of orphans who were adopted by a martial arts master when they were much younger. They get trained in the art of fighting so that when he's murdered one day, they have the ability to seek revenge on those who took his life from him. This little adventure slowly but surely evolves into a mysterious web of interconnecting plots ranging from the workings of drug cartels, demonic cults, and of course, a lot of martial arts. It's without a doubt one of the best adult animated shows currently available to stream. While flowing from an edgy, gripping story, it pays homage to the low-budget kung fu movies that Cobra Kai was very much based on, making it a must-watch show for fans of the franchise. Pity, only one season exists though. Number 6, Into the Badlands. Another incredible franchise that Cobra Kai fans shouldn't be missing out on is Into the Badlands, which was released back in November of 2015 to critical acclaim. It cast the Hong Kong industry legend Daniel Wu as the leading man of the series, who is a warrior of incredible strength and ability. But rather than placing the warrior within the usual underground or overground world of kung fu we're used to, the series instead takes place in a post-apocalyptic world where anything goes. Better yet, this new age world is ruled by a number of warring factions who each want to use their abilities for their own or wipe from the realm completely. You'll be spending the majority of your time with the warrior and his student, who on their quest to master the art of fighting encounter some of the craziest experiences ever seen on television. The great thing about Into the Badlands is how heavily it leans into the wire work and stunt fighting that the Hong Kong film industry has become synonymous with. Think of it as a mixture between Rush Hour and Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, with Daniel Wu being responsible for pulling off some of the most intricate fighting any of you would have seen in quite some time. Others have also referred to the show as being a real-life portrayal of what anime has become famous for, so if that makes it sound like something you'd be able to dabble in, be sure to check out all 3 seasons of Into the Badlands as soon as possible. We doubt you'll regret it. Number 7, Wu Assassins. And last but not least, we have a show that gives free range to one of the greatest fighting legends of the recent era, Iko Uwais, who became famous for the leading role he played in the Raid franchise. Uwais plays a chef who gets involved with the triad while working in San Francisco, all of which is the result of him discovering and obtaining an ancient power known as Wu Xing. It's later revealed that due to his findings, he has become the latest Wu Assassin, a title which is passed from generation to generation, resulting in a constant flow of heroes to fend off the darkness of the world. The leading man finds himself facing off against some of the baddest criminals that San Francisco has to offer in an attempt to fulfill his duty. Better yet, some of these criminals find themselves possessing the same power, making the fight sequence something you won't want to miss. So if you've been missing the action of Cobra Kai, you know exactly where to turn to. Wu Assassins. What do you think of these incredible shows? Be sure to let us know in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching. Take care.